Show no mercy! Light it up! Light of the blazing sun! Let's light it up!
Hear the echoes of the valley!
Everybody stand! Suffer the wrath of the...
Burn it down! Wrath from the sky!
Fulfill our pact!
Bring it! Let engraved names echo!
Let's light it up! I'm going in!
Rise with the sun! Light of the blazing sun!
Get to work!
Let the mountain's veins boil!
Everybody stand back! You two! Time to...
Pyroclastic surge!
Right here. Rest and revamp!
Settle down!
Right now, right here. Emerge.
Silence!
Shower me with praise! Let my name echo in sun...
Right now, right here.
Allow me!
Settle down! Be sanctified.
Let the world collide!
Right now, emerge. Right here.
Bring refuge!
Justice is blindsided. Silence!
Emerge. Right here. Emerge.
Hold the line!
Right here. Emerge. Right now.
Yoo-hoo! Time to shine!
Bow your head.
Billowing surge!
Right here. Right now. Emerge. I'm always watching. Right now. Right here. Emerge.
Shower me with praise! Let the world collide!
Right now. Right here.
Settle down! The tides beckon.
Gotcha! Hup. Rain outlines your fate. Rain cutter! Game's up. From Silva.
A little amusement.
No, my sword! Witness the power.
At first, the flavor.
Busted. Things are about to get dicey. Let me weave you a verse. No, my sword! Rain. Quietly now. Rain cutter.
The pinnacle of excellence.
Here comes the catch. Power. Gotcha.
Off to the freezer.
Game's up. Time's over.
At first, the flavor.
No, my sword! Quietly now. Let me weave you a... Mine to wield.
Alrighty everybody, Koala here. We're gonna be back. Stygian Assault, it just came out again, so I have beaten it. Fearless mode. 325 seconds, 99, 114, and then 112. Okay. So these are the 4 teams I chose. So we have a Mavika comp, the average Mavika comp. It's Tupa Flower. So is of course you want your Mavika or you want to go any Night Soul character. Number 2, Battle Hounded Tent Tortoise. The technical best way to do this is technically highest burst possible, but if you don't really care about that, anyone with ridiculously high damage and can deal a lot of damage to Electro Shield is really good here. So Cryo's really good here, Hydro's decent here, Pyro's really good here. Just don't bring Electro DPS and don't bring probably a Nemo, like stuff like that. And the last one, Battle Hounded Purple Idol. It's the Cactus. You're playing a lot. You have to play Super Electro Charge or Lunar Electro Charge. It depends on if you have the new character or not. If not, Electro Charge works. It works pretty well. Okay, now we're going to be talking about the first boss. So the first boss, Tupa, the entire gimmick is that the boss starts with the boss starts with the shield, like how in every other like you see in like what you call it? You see Imaginary Theater. You saw probably one time in Abyss. The boss starts with a shield. However, the boss doesn't actually do its little massive hit thing. So you're not time limited to destroy the shield. You just need to hit the shield enough in order to break it, and you can start doing damage to the boss. As a result, with a Mavika comp like what I have, what you have to do is you have to start trying to break his shield and then set up a damage. So set up a damage threshold so you can slam him right when he breaks. That's the entire idea about this fight. Anyways, let's go look at my characters for this. Oh, okay. So for character preview, I have a Gelonian at 3k defense. And then 186% recharge. My opinion, the recharge is really important here. Since in Stygian, so you start with 0 energy, just having more energy recharge on someone like Zelonian just makes it easier to break the shield. Because remember, when you press her skill and you hit 3 times, it counts as Night Soul or it counts as Night Soul line damage. As a result, it breaks the shield like 3 times faster or something like that. It's a lot faster. It's noticeably faster. Weapon of choice, I put Zelonian's sword. Of course, I just prefer her to generate energy as like a battery of sort because her skill's really easy to use. Her ult's really fast, stuff like that. Constellation, no constellation. Artifact, of course, you're gonna go Night Soul or Blessing State. Okay, you're gonna see pretty soon. I have 2 of these sets. I'm too lazy to change it. if you I will mention when I talk to Sitlali, but for her, it's probably better to not put energy, to not put scrolls Hero Cinder, Cinder City here. Instead, you should go like Noblesse Oblige or Wander. No, not Wander Shore, but Noblesse Oblige. Do I have a Noblesse? I probably do, but you probably should put Noblesse because Noblesse is just better. Because remember, this artifact Cinder City does not stack. So if you have two Dice Roll characters, one of them should be on Noblesse and the other one should be on Cinder City. That's just for optimal. I was lazy, and you can see I cleared anyways without doing that. So all is fair. Alright, next up, of course, Sitlali, not Sitlali. Mavika is by far the most important. You need her to do damage. So, of course, I have 43% crit rate, which is okay because she gained 40% crit rate in battle because of her Night Soul. So, she actually has like 80% crit rate. And then she has 200% crit damage. That's not really true because it's her weapon. Blah, blah, blah. Right, so she has a lot of attack, stuff like that. Her weapon, I have a weapon of choice. The best one on her. And of course, you want to play her on Cinders on Obsidian Codex. It's by far the best artifact on her. Just giving more crit rate and just more damage dealt while in Night Soul Blessing, which Mavika is in for pretty much almost like 99% of her fight. Then this is by far the best one you possibly get. When it comes to Constellation, she's wailed. She's C3. The joke for Vice C3 is I actually accidentally got her C3. I meant to get Sitlali on her first patch, but then I won 50-50 and got Mavika. So talent maps it out. Like, you don't need this much damage. I just have this much damage just to make sure I can clear easier. But if you know what you're doing, your team is set up better with artifacts, you can do fine. For Sitlali, Sitlali's entire thing, you put EM, she's just my shielder in this case. The shielding is really important because I prefer that my team doesn't get one shot or doesn't get killed by the Tulpa. So the Abyss Tulpa does do the little dot effect that detonates after a bit of time. But it also does a pretty good amount of damage when it hits you. So just having the Sitlali shield just makes it so you're safe. On top of the Sitlali's passive also reduces Pyro Res, which makes it which makes your Mavika hit a lot harder. So Sitlali is kind of required for this fight now, because you kind of need the damage. Weapon, I put 1 on Even Star. It's technically her best. It's her best 4-star artifact, or best 4-star catalyst probably, or arguably the best 4-star catalyst that isn't her own sig. But her sig is not a 4-star. As you can see, as I mentioned before, I have her on Heroes of Cinder City. For best result, play Noblesse, because Noblesse increases ultimate damage or elemental burst damage by so much % for your main character, which is Mavika, and Mavika benefits a lot from ultimate damage. Otherwise, this is okay, but it just doesn't stack. So like it's just a waste of a slot, right? For stats wise, you want to try to get her at some ER, but as much EM as possible because she scales off of EM. Artifact, Constellation, no Constellation. Talent, just master her ult and her skill. Those are the most important ones. Her ult is pretty good. It just does more damage. Her skill is really important because it's just more shield, and then more Night Soul consumption. I mean, no, Night Soul consumption doesn't matter. But see, she decreases Pyro. Hydro Res, okay, nobody really want to play on Hydro, but Pyro Res is pretty good here. I really get a lot of people angry at me when I say like nobody's gonna play on Pyro or Hydro or something like that. And then of course the last person, Bennett. For Bennett, you're looking for as much base attack as possible. Remember, he scales off of base attack, which is basically your attack, your base attack, which is his base attack, plus the weapon. This does not include all the little bonus attacks you give him. It's just more bonus attack, does more damage. And of course, the last thing you have to focus is some HP, and of course, more ER. ER is by far the most important thing on him. You need to keep his burst up as much as
Benny's
possible.
adventure team.
Weapon, Skyward's Blade. It's one of the best ones on him. You can probably go not Primary Jericho. You can probably go Aquila Favonia because Aquila Favonia has higher base attack. But I prefer the increased movement speed, the additional damage, and probably I prefer the ER in general than the physical damage bonus, because physical damage bonus on him is pretty bad. Artifact wise, you see I have Noblesse, right? This is what Noblesse does. See, Noblesse increases. Actually, I forgot he has Noblesse. So if he has Noblesse, you're gonna play Sitlali on a different artifact. I forget which artifact it is, but there's one more artifact that just increases damage for the whole team. I forget which one that is. I think it might be this one. Like this probably would work, like right. Or you can probably this would not be great. Probably probably Wander's Trope then. because EM is just great because you do melt, right? EM is great for her. So Wander's Trope. If you have Noblesse already on Bennett, go Wander's Trope on it because this effect also cannot stack. But otherwise, for her calculation, as I mentioned in like last video with the last Stygian assault, C6 is really good now because we're playing Mavica. So just having 50% more damage bonus for Claymore, which is she is, it's just better. It's not as bad an issue anymore. Like back then, C6 used to not be like recommended because a lot of characters did scaled off of like cryo damage. They scaled and then people would use them as an attack buffer. But nowadays people have damage that cannot be overwritten, so this doesn't matter anymore. So just having the weapon infused with power doesn't actually matter. Okay, for tips against Topa. So Topa's entire tip is just be aggressive. Just attack him, attack him, attack him. That's literally the only way. And then as I said before, set up in such a way where you see his shield almost break, and then set up all your damage, and then right as you do that, slam him right as he breaks. That will give you that will maximize your DPS potential because you do not do any damage when he has to shield up. Actually, for all of these people, as long as they have to shield up, they don't take any damage. So you need to break the shield as much as possible. Okay, for the next team, we're going to be talking about Battle Hardened Tent Tortoise, or I call it Electro Turtle. Electro Tortoise is a low frequency damage, high frequency damage. That's the only thing, other than the fact that it comes with an electro shield. So it's this boss is very similar to the boss that you see like I forget what that's called, but the major not wood boss, but the major like a side boss, side boss that you see in Notlon, which not Notlon, you see in Fontaine. So this is the side boss in Fontaine, where remember like it does like 1,000,000 damage, and if you don't have Electro Turtle, it does 1,000,000,000 damage. Yeah, it's one of those elite bounties and stuff. For the team, I chose to ignore the high frequency damage. Really, anyone with really low frequency damage that is really burst heavy. So like Mavica, probably Navia, probably not Hu Tao, but I don't really have anyone else. Like Navia, Mavica. Maybe like maybe Varessa, but I think Varessa is more spread out. Low frequency damage thrives here because how the tortoise works is the tortoise has a little circle. The little circle is like its rage bar. It goes up as you hit it, and it decreases over time as you let it doesn't get hit. So if you just don't do much, if you don't do much damage, or you don't not much damage, if you don't attack often, you will never see it go to your shield because it can never reach that point. If it reaches to 4, it gains the electro shield and it becomes immune to all damage until that shield is broken. However, for me, I know I have enough damage, so I just ignored the entire setup. I just played. I played the skirt team with the variation being instead of Farina, I decided to play Yelan plus Kincho, just because I already know I'm gonna have high frequency damage anyways. So I'm just going for freeze. So here's a special thing about this boss too. You can freeze this boss. So if you freeze this boss, the boss, even though the boss reaches enrage, you can delay the enrage for pretty much infinitely as long as you keep it up. If you let it go for a little bit, the boss will probably go into enrage and you have to fight through it again. I fought through my battles at USC, but it doesn't. But freezing a lot, as you can see, allowed me to delay the boss a lot. So how are we looking for this team? So for this battle, we choose a Scaffier. A Scaffier is by far the best one. She's required because she's so good at just shredding the tribal reds of the opponent. That's great. On top of that, she also has a lot of cryo application. Since she has so much cryo application, using her puts like a Kincho ult or a Yelan ult, basically makes it really hard for you to get. It keeps the boss pretty much frozen for as long as that ult is up. That's really great. Weapon wise, I have her own weapon. This is just really good because it increases her own attack. She's an attack scaler. She's healed off attack. On top of that, it also increases attack of people on your team. That's just good because Nude / Skirt is also an attack scaler, and most of the people you do play with her are probably attack scalers. Artifact, her best inside is Golden Trope. Golden Trope is just really good. You're looking at cryo damage bonus because her damage is actually not lackluster. So it's actually good to go damage on her because she actually does a pretty decent amount. Like you see her probably do like 20,000 on just off field. That's just crazy. Even though Skirt does like 90 to 100,000. That's just incredible that she can do so much. Artifact, Constellation, no Constellation. Talent, you just matter her skill and her ult. Her ult is really good because it just look at this scaling, 1,067%, and then 309% attack was 2,373. That's pretty good. Of course, her skill also ridiculously good. That's 216% scaling, you know, and then you usually just want to press. I don't like to hold because holding is just a waste of time, in my opinion. Like if you use hold, you're probably gonna have situations where the boss will actually get into its electro shield right as you hold. He's not doing anything during that time. Next up, Skirt. Skirt's entire gimmick is you're looking for her to do as much damage as possible. So she's an attack skiller, have as much attack as possible, have as much crit rate and crit damage. EO it doesn't matter because she has no energy. So don't build EO. I have some EO here. It's just wasted stats that comes out of having messed up. Weapon, I didn't get her weapon unfortunately, so I just used probably one of J Cutter. It's a fine weapon because I like the crit rate bonus and I also like the HP into attack bonus, so it just makes her a lot tinkier, a lot sturdier, while also providing a pretty good amount of attack bonus for just existing. Artifact wise, her best inside are of course deep galleries. Deep galleries is literally made for her. She's the only character that can use deep galleries because no one else has 0 elemental energy and no one else is all about normal attack elemental burst damage. Like very funny. But otherwise you're just looking for attack or damage for damage, stuff like that. Constellation, no Constellation is necessary. C1 and C2 is okay, they're pretty good, but it's not, I don't really care much about grabbing it. In terms of talent upgrade, skill and ult are by far the most important. You don't really need this basic here because you're not going to use her to do physical damage. You're going to be using her to slam, to get this bonus attribute here from the skill attribute, right? And then, of course, Heroic Ruin, like, you know, just more damage, it's more damage. I should mention too that her talent level actually is technically +1 because of her talent here. She gains plus, it's one of these. She gains, I think it's this one. Yeah, she gains all into a skill level but increased by 1 when everyone is all Pyro or Hydro or Cryo. It just doesn't show that because we don't see her team right now, but she will be level 11 skill. That's something important to know. Okay, next up, King Show. King Show's entire job here is to be a battery. So of course you see he has a 246% EO, so he has his ult up almost all the time. He's not attacking, he's more HP scaling. But you can see I didn't really care much about his HP or his crit as much. I care more about his EO, and you'll see it in the battle where I gain a lot of energy and I can keep up with the energy gain. Weapon of choice, his best weapon of course is Sacrificial Sword. Sacrificial Sword just allows him to skill twice. If you can skill twice, you generate double the energy. So if you can generate double the energy, you can start supercharging Yelon. Yelon doesn't need it. You can supercharge Kincho and you can supercharge Escoffier. Artifact wise, I chose Severed Fate, of course, because I'm using him as a battery. Severed Fate is by far the best. He's all about elemental burst damage. It's just great to have. Like sure, his damage is not great. It's more about buffing Skirt. Constellations, he said. I mean that should just be given now, given how old this count is. This count's like 5 years old, so you should have CSS at this point. Talent wise, max out his skill, max out his ult. Don't need his basic. You never use him in the basic anyways. Okay. Last but not least, Yelon. Yelon's entire gimmick, she's an HP scaler, but she also does a pretty decent amount of damage. So you want to build her with HP, some crit, and then as much EO as possible. So you can see I went EO on her as well. Why I went EO on her as well? It's because her weapon is Favonius Warbow. So Favonius Warbow allows her to skill. Her skill, when it hits somebody, it regenerates energy, but if you also crit with that, it also generates additional energy, which is so amazing that it makes her like a second sub battery next to Kincho. So having Kincho and having Yelon together means these two bursts are pretty much up all the time if you manage it correctly. For Artifact, of course, Severed Fate again. Like, and I went crit rate or crit damage on this, Hydro damage bonus, HP attack, HP. Right. Focus on EO, crit damage, crit rate, and HP% if you can find it. HP% is just great. Otherwise, don't really fret on that. Just think more about the EO, right? Constellation, no constellation matters. And I have max out skill, max out ult, and max out basic. Max out basic is kind of useless. You're not using her to do basics. Max out skill is pretty important. That just increases the damage to a pretty high proportion. Like 40.7% max HP is pretty good. And then, of course, 13.5% max HP and then 8.7% max HP times 3, which is basically her follow-up attacks, is really also ridiculously good. And the energy cost is decently low. And then, of course, turn control. So what you're using here is that, because she doesn't gain max HP, sucks, but it's just a team you put her in. But what you're really using her for is this part. She gains 1%, and then she also gets 3.5% every second, up to 50%, which is at the last second. This is really important, because you kind of need the damage bonus for Skirt. Skirt thrives a lot for damage bonus because she only gains a lot of attack percent from a Scarfier or a lot of flat attack. So just having more damage bonus on Skirt's really good. And necessary calculation is useless. Okay, for tips and strategies against Tortoise, as I mentioned, freeze is by far the best strategy. If you're not doing if you're doing high frequency damage, freeze is by far the best option. The Tortoise, like I said, could be frozen. So in freezing it, it's really important to shut down, to block it. On top of that, you should also know that if you break the Tortoise shield, so when it gets to the electro shield and you break it, you would be given probably like a 10-second window where the Tortoise no longer charges for a bit. That allows you to just hammer it down with high frequency attacks because there's no punishment at all for doing so. So what you should really be doing is that you shouldn't be worried about with this team at least. You shouldn't be worried with using ults when the boss is about to break. Just use it because you just want to burn the shield as fast as possible. I have the damage to kill him. I just need to break the shield. So that's the entire tip of this strategy. On top of that, another thing is just don't be afraid to take damage. The boss doesn't really have a lot of ways to knock you back. So since the boss doesn't have a lot of ways to knock you back, you can just tank the damage and just not really care about wasting time just hitting it. There's no point in dodging basically against this boss because this boss doesn't really care. Okay, last but not least, Battle Hardened Idol, the cactus dude, the cactus dude that actually put in this event, which I think is pretty funny. So for character preview, we're looking at a Neverlet. Neverlet's entire gimmick. So Neverlet's entire job here is to do damage. Like he is a really good source of Hydro application. He has a lot of AoE, which you're going to see is pretty important for this fight, or somewhat important. But he also is really tanky because, I would mention later, the boss is really aggressive. This boss does a lot of damage, and he also is pretty consistent in doing a lot of damage. So Neverlet's really good because this boss is very electro contact heavy. And as we can say, we'll mention Miko soon. Weapon-wise, I have his best weapon, his weapon of choice. Artifact, his best artifact is Masterless Hunter because he benefits a lot from this 36% crit rate at max stats, which will be 100% easy to maintain because he changes his HP a lot. And as you see, I have Furina on top of that. So this thing is basically up 100% of the time because I keep changing his HP all the time. And of course, charge attack damage is all set up for him. Of course, you go crit rate, hydro damage, attack, HP. As you can see, I basically have 100% crit rate, so just 100% crit rate just makes him more consistent. Sometimes people prefer just say instead of 100% crit rate, they go like 300% crit damage and like 69 and like probably like 70% crit rate with the Masterless Hunter. That's okay too. Like that works. And that's if you just want to do more damage. And actually, you can see probably doing more damage is probably great here. I just prefer the more consistency, so I can just consistently run. Okay, and then hydro damage from this. Constellation, I just have a C1. The C1 is pretty good. It just makes it so you don't have any you have interruption of resistance when you charge attack. This is pretty important for Neverlet because this boss has actually a lot of knockback. Or a little bit knockback, so it's a little bit annoying to try to get this charge attack through if you just get it cancelled. So it's kind of important. Of course, for him, skill or everything is basically required. This is really required because he's a charge attack based character. Right? This skill is pretty important because he's a charge attack based character and you want to do more damage with this character. His ult is pretty important because his ult also does a pretty good amount of damage. So everything about this is important. Okay. Next up, I chose Kokomi here, and the reason I chose Kokomi here over someone say like Mona, right, or like another damage dealer, is because this boss is so aggressive. You're gonna take so much damage. You kind of do need a healer, or you need a shooter. I personally prefer that you go for a healer here, because with a healer like Kokomi, you actually have more hydro application. I don't remember if there's a healer for Electro. So that's probably not really a good choice other than like Kokomi for healing. You can probably go someone else. Like if you think you're good enough at dodge, you could do that. But I would caution against it, as getting through. You rather have Farina's skill with the 3 little people over the healing one in this case, because you need the hydro application. For her stats, 40% HP, as much HP as possible, pretty good. Crit rate and crit damage don't matter because she can't crit. And then ER is somewhat important because you want to try to keep her burst as much as possible. But it's okay, her ER is not as important because having ult is cool and all. It's not really the most important. Her skill, using elemental ability to generate 6 energy, that just keep it so her ult, so she always had more ults ready. It's easier for her. And then all Pokemon also regenerate 6% HP. This is just nice. This just makes it so it synergizes really well with Neverlet and Farina. It just means when I burst, I will always keep increasing and decreasing my HP with Farina. Artifact wise, her best inside is Ocean Hue Clam. That's just because it's more healing and just more damage, right? And dealing damage. This is don't worry about this. This damage is gonna suck. Like nobody talks about this damage. But Ocean Hue Clam is just the best because healing bonus just allows you to manipulate your HP by so much and keeping your team alive. Realistically, if you care so much, you can, instead of playing Ocean Hill Clam, you can play Noblesse, right? Like I said before, Noblesse Oblige, because Noblesse Oblige is just good for the damage. Constellation or Constellation, talent, master her skill and ult. I don't know why master her basic, I just thought it was pretty funny, but master her skill and her ult, just more healing in general. Next up, Farina. Farina's entire gimmick is you're using her with good enough crit rate and crit damage because her damage is okay, and as much HP as possible. You want really high HP here, because really high HP means she gets a lot of damage bonus, she gets a lot of fanfare stats and bonus. Weapon of choice, Ferryman, the pipe. The pipe is just pretty good on her, just because it has ER, and it increases her ER after using skill, which she's all about using skill, and she wants to keep her burst up as much as possible. Increases crit rate is also nice, because she does have decent damage. Artifact! Golden Trope is by far her best one, because her entire gimmick is to be off-field. She skills, she ults, she off-field, and then she goes to like Neverlet or like another DPS, right? So this is just really important, that just because it just increases her damage a little bit further. And she's usually off-field almost all the time. That's why I would recommend building damage, because you want just more damage. And on top of that, in my opinion, for this one, you want to go HP% over Hydro damage bonus. Even though she is she's like a sub DPS, HP% is more important, and we will get to that when we talk about her talents. Constellation, I just have a C1. That just means that when I ult, I start with more damage bonus. I start with the damage bonus immediately, and I also have high damage bonus from 75% to 100%. This is just nice to have. As you can see, it kind of mattered. It also kind of didn't. It just depended on like how lucky I was with the electro application, and kind of how much I care about. How much I cared about getting more damage, right? If I really cared about, if I don't have this, just having Neverland with more damage will work, or having like Kokimi with like Noblesse will also work. Talent-wise, master her talent and her skill. Her skill is by far the most important one, because that just means she does more damage with her, and her entire gimmick over her skill. The ult's also pretty important too, because it increases the fanfare to conversion ratio, which is by far the most important thing. You need to increase it by maximum, because you need to stack this as fast as possible. And before I remember, why I mentioned why her HP matters, is this part. So for every 1,000 point in Farina's max HP, she increases her solid member's damage, which is her skill, and it also decreases the interval of healing by up to 16%. Don't worry about messing this out. This is just a better bonus than getting hydro damage bonus, actually, usually. So because the decreased interval just means you can stack fanfare a little bit faster. But that only really matters for her second skill, which you're never gonna use. So this part doesn't matter. You just want the salon damage bonus. See, in my stage, that just comes in naturally. Like, it doesn't really matter. Last but not least, Yae Miko. In my opinion, Yae Miko's the best character in this game. She's the best character to fight this boss because this boss is all about putting as much electro and hydro as much as possible, and Yae Miko is by far. And then on top of that, it's all about also applying hydro and electro to one target, to one specific target in particular. So Miko is by far the best one because she has one of the best electro for one target as long as you set up your totems correctly. So for build wise, you want her damage, some EO, but EO not really important. You never really bursting with her. It's usually a waste of time unless you need to really reset your totems because you don't want to have to set up the totems again after like 20 seconds or after like 12 seconds. So just damage and attack. That's really all she needs. Weapon, I have her best weapon. It's great. That's artifact. Noble Supply, no, Golden Trope is by far her best one again. She's an off-field like Farina, so just having more damage bonus for being off-field is kind of important, and you see it kind of adds up kind of quickly. Because just having 50% damage bonus plus 20%, so 70% damage bonus, which is existing, it's incredible. Because she's all about using her totems, and she had 3 totems that individually shoot. So that's like 3 times 70%, so that's like 210% extra stuff like that from like usual. It's kind of crazy because she does a lot of extra damage. Actually, but realistically, it's actually more like 70% damage bonus because you have 3 totems and you have 3 totems that have 70% more damage. So actually, realistically, it's 70% more. But it's more actually. I think with math and how math gimmick is, it's a little bit higher than 70% because of how that works. Crit rate, crit damage, like okay, like normal build for DPS. Constellation, no constellation, talent. Skill, basic doesn't really matter. Skill and ult is by far the most important. Skill by far should be max because you need it up as long as possible. It has 14-second duration, cooldown of 4 seconds. That basically means it has like it will take you 12 seconds, so you have 2 seconds of extra time once you set up your full totems, assuming you do one totem every 4 seconds. It's just what that means is that the duration is so long, you have 100% uptime with this, and this is pretty important for this fight. Ult is just cool. Energy cost is kind of high for this ult, even though I think this ult kind of sucks because it has kind of high energy cost for the thunderbolt damage not being that great. Her scaling is probably like at max is 1,600%. That's pretty bad for 90 energy cost and a cooldown. That's pretty bad. But the benefit of this is that it just resets your skills. So that's the best part. So you reset the cooldown charge for each skill. So if you have 3 of them, you strike 3 times, and then you get your thing back up. So it just means you can reset your 14-second cooldown. And a lightning blessing, right? For every point in mastery, she increases her damage. I didn't bother with this point. Yeah, some people play elemental mastery Yae Miko. I don't like this. I prefer to play crit over elemental mastery. I just put elemental mastery as like an extra. This is not really good enough that I would really bother with getting it, in my opinion. I'd rather get crit. Of course, and this is also kind of useless. Okay, last but not least, how do we fight this? How do we fight this this dude? For one, as I mentioned, he's ridiculously aggressive. So he attacks so much and he has a lot of knockback. As in, what knockback means like he hits you and he kind of just pushes you back, or he kind of interrupts an attack, right? So there's a lot of interrupt. That's pretty important, because that basically means you need to be really, really careful about using your characters, because your characters could die if you don't heal them correctly with Farina. They kind of die. That's a lot of damage. On top of that, he has 2 phases. His first phase is when he's out and you can hit him, and you can do damage to him. His second phase is when he becomes 3 hats, and he has a shield, and your objective is to break the shield to pull them up, to pop him up from his thing. Okay. Yeah, see, none of them have some powerful interaction capabilities. Cool. So how do we deal with this? The first fight is just rush his damage. Just throw out as much damage as you possibly can. Regenerate all your energy. Just rush him down, right? And then eventually, when he comes down into his hat, how his hat works, right? It's that his hat works like magical hats. If you play Yu-Gi-Oh, it kind of works like the 3 little magical hats. Or like the 4 magical hats they have. One of them is real, and 2 of them are fake. So basically, what I mean is that there's 3 hats. He drops down 1 hat, and then before you can really start applying electro charge to him, that's where the electro charge comes in. Before you start applying the electro charge to him, he will swap the hats one by one. So each hat will swap with each other. Either one time, like so many times, right? You need to keep track of where this hat is, because the hat that he started with is the hat that you need to attack. If you hit any other hat that isn't his, you will do very little damage to your shield. If you hit the hat that is his, you will do massive damage to your shield. And if you do not break his shield in time, he will one-shot your active character. So you have to be really careful about figuring out which hat it is and then attacking it. This is why Yae Miko is so powerful here. Because with Yae Miko, these hats are so far spaced together that once you know which hat it is, and the hats don't really move for a while, you set up your totems in a triangle formation with the direction furthest away from the other 2 hats. This basically ensures that Yae Miko's totems target the same hat like 3 times every single 3 times. And that's also why you want to use Furina's trope. When you use Furina's trope will also target the hat. So you're using Miko with trope, and you're applying so many electro contacts that you're basically breaking the hat over and over and over again. And how the hat works is that the hat has like this tortoise. The hat has a bar on it, and the bar charges as you do electro charge things. I think lunar charge do a little bit better, but if you do, but with electro charge. With electro charge, when you keep filling up that bar, you will break the damage a lot higher. Of course, as you do damage to the hat, it will break the shield ever so slightly. But as you keep hitting that milestone with the fully charged, you will do massive damage, assuming that is the right hat. If it's the wrong hat, it would do a little bit less. It would do way less damage, probably like 10% of the shield damage that you have to do. After that, the boss will come back up and you hit him again. So it's just a cycle of he becomes vulnerable, you hit him, he goes down, you find what hat it is, you break him out, and you do damage again. That's literally the entire fight. As you will see in my like testing. And you see I learned it over time. I realized, okay, his hat is the most important. Right? So it doesn't tell you here, but the other hats don't matter. Like don't bother with the other hats, just target the one hat he has. Like you would tell which hat it is at the beginning because it will sort of a little mustache and then it would disappear. So that's kind of like your indication to check. So your indication to check is when he goes down into the ground. That's your indication. On top of that, one last thing I should mention for him is that he also does this really special attack that has a bunch of circles like that just shoots like consistently, like probably every 0.1 second. That attack is what I'm talking about. That is very high interrupt. That is really good at interrupting you. So you need to be really careful when you see that fight. Otherwise, this character is more of a DPS race with a Hydro Electro comp, and then it's just overall as fast as possible. It's just do as much damage as possible as fast as possible while applying Electro Charge. So I know this is a 35 minutes segment, but so like in summary, Topa's entire gimmick is to do night soul line damage. Just set up your damage in such a way so when you break his shield, you pop him because that's your only time to do damage before he comes back up and you get the shield again. Thundering Aegis, the tortoise, his entire gimmick is you can freeze him, or you can do high burst damage, low frequency, high burst. Basically, you don't want characters that consistently do damage like Hu Tao, like a Skirt, but Skirt is one of those exceptions because she is a freeze unit. So freeze is ridiculously good because freeze can delay the little ward of electro. Last but not least, the Cactus boss is all about electro conduct. When he is up in his phase, you hit him as hard as possible, as fast as possible, and you do as much damage and then in anticipation that he will eventually go down to the ground and become a hat. Once he becomes a hat, pay attention to what hat it is and watch where it swaps. And once you figure out which hat is the correct hat when it finishes swapping, focus that hat with electro charge damage and keep trying to break that shield. Once you break the shield, the boss will come back up, be in a stun state, and you can start doing that damage again. And you will cycle that probably like once or twice. If you do it 3 times, you do not have enough time. So you do it about 2 times maximum. Anyways, I wish everybody the best of luck in Fearless this mode. Yes, this mode is a little bit of a time waster, but it's not really time waster if you know the mechanic of the boss or you know how the boss works. Anyways, have a good rest of your day. Good luck, and then bye bye.
Right here, right now, right here.
Yoo-hoo! Illusion shut!
Hold the line. Emerge, right here.
Shine down! Torn to oblivion!
Strike a pose. Let my name echo in. Emerge, right now. Emerge. Covenant of the deep.
Now you shall perish!
Let the world collide. Right here, right now. Rest and rebuild. Torrent, bring refuge.
Illusion shattered! Detached from the...
Show no mercy.
Rev the engines! Light of the blazing sun! Hear the echoes of the valley! Teamwork is dreamwork! Light it up! Wrath from the skies! Let the mountain's veins boil!
Statline, it's Papa. I'm going in.
Burn it down! Full throttle!
Fulfill our pact.
Rise with the sun! Switching gears. The end!
Emerge, right here. Emerge. Shower me with... Allow me. Right here. Emerge. Right here. Right now. Strike a pose. Time to shine. Hold the line.
Settle down. The tides beckon.
Right here, right now. Emerge. Covenant of the deep. Let my name echo in song. Right now. What a nuisance. Right here. Emerge. Right now. Let the world collide!
Silence! Let the mighty be humbled!
Right here. What a nuisance. Right now. Torrent, bring refuge! Strike a pose! Right here. Right now.
Settle down!
Let my name echo in song! Right here.
tides beckon.
Emerge, right now, right here. Shower me with time to shine! Emerge, right now. Allow me! Emerge, right now. Covenants of the deep! Emerge.
Bow your head.
Let my name echo in song!
Be sanctified. Settle down.
Right here, right now. Right here, right now. A sight to behold. Right here, emerge. Right now. Let the world come alive! Torrent, bring refuge!
Silence. The tides beckon.
Right here, emerge. Come on out.
Bow your head.
Let my name echo in song! Right here. Emerge, right here, emerge. Shower me with...
Settle down.
Right now, emerge, right here.
Justice is blindsided.
Emerge, right now. Time to shine! Rest and
Bow your head.
Covenants of the deep! Let my name echo in song! Emerge, right here.
I see the temperate waters of eons past.
Emerge, right now.
Silence! Settle down!
Right on. Emerge. Shower me with praise. Time to shine.
Be sanctified. When the tide comes in, I shall...
Strike a punch. Right here. Allow me.
Bow your head.
Right now. Emerge. Right. Is that all?
Settle down.
Let my name echo in song. Shower me with... Emerge. Right here. Emerge. Rest and rebuild.
Bow your head. Let the mighty be humble.
Right now, right here.
Let the world fly! Billowing surge!
Settle down.
Right now, emerge. Right here.
Justice is found. Settle down.
Right now, right here.
Let my name echo in song! Hold the line! Torrent, bring refuge!
Silence. The tides beckon.
Right now, right here. Emerge.
Shower me with praise! Let the world come on!
Right now, emerge. Right here. Nothing lasts forever. Emerge. Right now, right here.
Allow me!
Settle down.
Right now, right here.
Silence.
Right now, emerge.
Let my name echo in song! Hold the line!
Bow your head.
Right now, emerge.
Billowing surge! Let the world collide!
Right here, right now.
Silence. I see the temperate waters of...
Gotcha! Know my sword! Witness the power of... A little elusive... Extinguished!
Mine to wield.
Game's up.
Fun's over.
Rain outlines your fate. Let me lead you. Adaptive frosting! The pinnacle of excellence!
Busted.
Know my sword!
Huh?
Ring cutter!
Things are about to get dicey.
Off to the freezer!
Mine to wield.
Gotcha! Rain outlines your fate. Let me read you a verse.
Here comes the catch.
Adaptive frosting! Goose on the loose!
Quietly now.
Witness the power of Gua. Rain outlines your fate. Off to the freezer!
Things are about to get dicey.
A burst of flavor! Annihilate! Ring cutter!
Quietly.
Know my sword! Rain outlines your fate!
Mine to wield.
Game's up!
Witness the power of Gua. Mine to wield. Busted. Things are about to get dicey. Off to the freezer. No longer hold back. Rain cutter. Mine to wield. Gotcha.
A burst of flavor.
Witness the power of Gua. Body and gangs up. Runs over. Quietly. Mine to wield. Rain cutter. Things are about to get dicey. Rain outlines your... Busted. Let me leave you a verse.
Goose on the loose.
Extinguish. Mine to wield. Gotcha. Rain outlines your fate. Know my sword. Power. Here comes the catch. Quietly now.
A little amuse-bouche. The pinnacle that...
Let me weave you a verse. Rain outlines your... Ha! Mine to wield. Ha! Ha! Things are about to get dicey. Witness the power of Gua.
A burst of flavor.
Mine to wield. Gotcha. Let me weave you a verse. Know my sword. Rain outlines your gangs up from silver.
Attack the frosting. The pinnacle of excellence.
Power. Witness the power of Gua.
A little amuse...
Quietly now. Things are about to get dicey. Annihilate. Power. Gotcha. Let me weave you a...
Off to the freezer. Goose on the loose.
Rain outlines your fate. Witness the power.
A little amuse-bouche.
Here comes the catch. Mine to wield. Know my sword. Busted. Rain cutter.
A burst of flavor.
Extinguish. Gotcha. Rain outlines your fate. Game's up. Fun's over. Let me weave you a verse.
Attack the front.
Mine to wield.
outline.
Goose on the loose!
Rain cutter. Things are about to get dicey.
Off to the freezer!
Rain outlines your fate. Wait, here comes the catch.
Pinnacle of excellence!
Power. Quietly now.
A little of this!
Busted.
No, my sword!
Let me weave you.
Adaptive thrust!
Game's up. Thumbs over. Quietly. Power. Witness the power.
A burst of flavor!
Gotcha. Here comes the catch. Mine to wield.
No, my sword!
Let me weave you a chop. Busted. Things are about to get tight.
Goose on the loose!
Mine to wield. Rain cutter. Quietly now. Game's up. Fun's over.
Off to the freezer!
Witness the power. Go on. No. Gotcha.
A burst of flavor!
Mine to wield. Busted.
A little of this!
Things are about to get tight. Rain cutter. Quietly. Rain outlines your fate.
Off to the freezer!
Here comes the catch. Mine to wield. Gotcha.
Adaptive frosting!
Let me weave you a burst. Things are about to get tight.
Goose on the loose!
Nice. Power. Quietly now. Rain outlines your fate. Witness the power of Gua. No, my... Here comes the catch.
Off to the freezer!
Mine to wield. Busted.
A little of moose boosh! A burst of flavor!
Rain cutter.
Adaptive frost!
Quietly now. Game's up. Fun's over.
No, my sword!
Let me weave you a
Pinnacle of excellence!
power. Gotcha. Quietly, rain outlines your face. No, my sword! Things are about to get dicey. Extinguished! Witness the power of the wild rain.
Goose on the loose!
Here comes the catch. Mine to wield. Am I still too weak?